Certainly. This tutorial will guide you through setting up a Python virtual environment using venv, creating a Docker container to run your Python application, and how to manage your code with GitHub. We'll cover local setup and pushing your project to GitHub. Part 1: Setting up a Python virtual environment with venv. Install Python. Make sure that Python is installed on your system. You can download it from Python Python org downloads. Ensure you include Python in your system's path. Create a project directory. Open your terminal and create a directory for your project. Create a virtual environment. Use the venv module to create a virtual environment. Activate the virtual environment on Windows. Bash venv scripts activate on macOS Linux. Bash source venv bin activate. After activation, your terminal prompt should change to indicate that the virtual environment is active. Install packages. You can now install any required packages using pip. For example, install requests. Create a requirements file to save your installed packages. You can create a requirements file. Create a Docker file in your project directory. Create a file named Docker file. Install any dependencies. Run pip install no requirements. Copy the rest of your application code. Copy command to run your application. Python your script py. Replace your script py with the name of your main Python file. Build the Docker image in your terminal. Run the following command to build the Docker image: bash docker build to my Python app. Run the Docker container after building the image. You can run it using bash docker run my Python app. Part 3: Using Git and GitHub. 1. Initialize a Git repository in your project directory. Initialize a new Git repository. Create a gitignore file. Create a file named gitignore to exclude files and directories that you don't want to track, such as your virtual environment. Add and commit your changes. Bash git add. Create a new GitHub repository. Go to GitHub and create a new repository. Do not initialize it with a readme. Link your local repository to GitHub. Copy the URL of your new repository and run bash git remote. Add origin your repo URL. Replace your repo URL with the actual URL of your GitHub repository. Push your changes to GitHub. Bash git push your origin master summary. Now you have a complete setup where a Python virtual environment is created and managed using venv. Your application is containerized using Docker, making it easy to run anywhere. Your code is version controlled with Git and hosted on GitHub. Example code structure. Your project directory should look something like this: me Python project Docker file requirements to your script py. Gitignore sample your script py. Here is a simple example of what your script py might look like. Python import requests def main response requests get hut api GitHub come print response from GitHub api response shanif name main conclusion. You now have a robust setup for developing Python applications that can be easily shared and deployed. You can modify your script, add more dependencies, and push the changes to GitHub as needed. Happy coding!